Item: SCP-608. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-608 is to be held in a vacuum chamber at all times while not the subject of active research. Magnetic levitation is to be used to suspend the object in the center of the chamber. In the event of either of these measures failing, a Class 3 evacuation of non-essential personnel is to be undertaken, and containment measures are to be restored as soon as possible. If containment failure persists for more than 1 hour, a Class 4 evacuation of personnel not actively involved in the containment of the item is to be undertaken. In the event of superpressurization for whatever reason, a Class 5 evacuation and cleanup must be performed immediately. Description: SCP-608 appears to be a length of silver tinsel with an unusually furry appearance. Although depending on environment the item may be surrounded by a halo of decaying particles. Any object coming into contact with it disintegrates slowly, the process being halted the instant that it is removed. At the same time, the halo increases in intensity. Microscope examination, radar, sonar, MRI, and all other known examination techniques are unable to provide insight beyond the fact that the object appears fuzzy, with no readily defined border. Rather, it appears to dissipate into the surroundings. This, combined with the disintegration property, led to the SCP's earlier misclassification as Euclid. Recent investigations have revealed, however, that the item's properties arise from a redacted state, or more simply its existence as a fractal. In layman's terms, the item has a potentially infinite number of progressively smaller branches radiating off the substance, in such a way that microexamination and macroexamination produce similar or identical results. The disintegration effects are due to the monofilament and finer branches slicing through a substance at the molecular or atomic level. See Addendum 608-1. Discovery: SCP-608 originally came to the attention of the Foundation after reports of glowing tinsel in 19. Considered unlikely to be important, the item was nevertheless sought out. Unfortunately, the house in which it was kept at the time collapsed on it for reasons unknown, causing large masses to be pressed onto the object. The effect was comparable to a redacted, producing an explosive force of tons as well as considerable quantities of alpha, beta, gamma and redacted radiation. No survivors were found within redacted of the origin, but the item survived apparently unharmed. Research potential: the research team is currently awaiting permission to attempt firing beams of small particles at the object, in the hopes of discovering more fundamental particles than those currently known. In particular, the ability of the object to baffle lasers has been the source of some speculation, and it is high on the priority list if such research is ever permitted.